I came to Calgary, and I went to see the CO of the medical unit, and he listed off, I had been a major for 4 years, and he listed off something like 7 medical officers who were considered senior to me. Well, that would mean that if I was going to be a lieutenant colonel in the medical corps, I was going to have to wait 21 years. And I'd be just about ready to be pensioned off. But some of the people that he was considering senior to me weren't even in the military when I was here 5 years previously. So I said that I thought, and I had been with the Essex Scottish and was all enamored with the idea of wearing the kilt and so on, which I did with them. And so I said I thought I'd like to try the Calgary Highlanders. And he said, well, you can do that, but you're not going to get anywhere with those guys. So they didn't have medical officers in the unit in Calgary. But anyway, I went downtown and I got an interview with Nobby Clark, who was the then commanding officer. And we had a chat, and he agreed that I would, to take me on, but he figured that being a medical doctor, that chances are I'd run out of time. And so I assured him that I'd know too. Anyway, he took me on, and I became, being all administration, I became the OC of support company, which it gave me a chance, some man management, but I also worked as training officer and various things like that for the unit. And then when it came time for Nobby Clark to step down, I appeared to have the time, and I had been a major longer than anybody else, and I had taken all the theoretical exams that I could, militia staff course, a field officers course for all arms, a field officers course with the medicals, so that I had taken all the training I could get, and I appeared to have the time, and I'd been doing a decent job, if I do say so myself, and so it went through. Mind you, being a medical officer gave me a fairly decent slant on man management, I thought. And, military law is the same whether you're medical or infantry. And so that, as I said earlier, it's administration, and it doesn't matter whether you're medical or infantry, the administration is the same, and man management is all the same. And leadership, hopefully you have enough leadership ability, and just remember that leadership is setting an example, and that's really considered in some circles as the only thing that's important, is with leadership is set an example. So I had to set an example of for attendance and dress and sort of presence as far as administration is concerned. And the tactics, fieldcraft, I left that in the hands of the company commanders, which they probably appreciated. At least I hope they did. And they were allowed to go and do their own thing. I was the first CO of the Highlanders without World War II experience, so that that didn't seem to fizz all that much on the past commanding officers, but it bothered the majors in the unit and in the periphery who thought that they were on the list to be considered for command. And there's a lot of politics and not bitterness, but it's a disappointment to feel that you're in line for it and not get it. The junior officers were all new, so that it didn't fizz on them to have a commanding officer that wasn't World War II. But one of the disadvantages that I had when I came to Calgary was that I didn't know the personnel in the unit at all, and the ones on the periphery whose main aim in life was to tell the CO how to run the unit, and the majority of the people who could be considered the old guard around the periphery, they were supportive, and they were just interested in seeing the unit do well. One or two thought that they should have been still in command, and then also I was very ignorant of the politics of the Army as it was in Calgary, and the local population, the city. And so I had to scramble and make sure that I, didn't offend too many of the right people, and then I had the personal problem, and then that I figured I was in command, and that was it.